Hey, what's going on, people? Welcome to my YouTube video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I got into dentistry. So in the UK, the chances of you getting into dentistry are actually around 9%. 1 in 11 people get a place to study dentistry in university. And the people you're competing with are A-star students. They're top of their class. So it is not easy to get a place. And it's especially not easy when you're not being revised in for the past 2 years. When everyone you're competing with has got outstanding GCSEs, they've been smashing it since year 7. I was failing my year 10 marks. I was not great in my year 11 marks. My GCSEs were above average. People in uni all have better GCSEs than I do. But I still made it to dental school. And here's how. So let's start on why I wasn't doing well in GCSEs. In year 10, I did not care. Well, before year 10 doesn't matter. In year 10, I did not care. Like, I knew I wanted to do dentistry in uni, and I know that's very early to have an idea of what you want to do. But I've always wanted to do dentistry. I didn't know you have to have good GCSEs. I didn't know how hard you actually have to work to get to dentistry. In the back of my head, it was just like, yeah, I want to do dentistry. If someone asked me what I want to do in the future. But year 10, I was there for vibes. I mean, I went to Trinity in Manchester. I don't know if anyone knows it. Science lessons, I was around my friends. There was jokes. English were just funny lessons. Like, these lessons, I was going there for fun. I didn't want to go there to actually learn. And homework, I did not take seriously at all. And all of this resulted in me not doing too well in my marks. In my English mark, I'm pretty sure I got a 3. In biology, I was getting like 4s. My best subject throughout all these years have been maths. And I remember the highest I think I got 6 in year 10 in maths. Year 10 is not going too well for me. I'm not the smartest in the class. I'm not the dumbest, or least smart. I'm just there. Going into year 11, I tell myself I'm going to work. I don't. I do some work here and there. I improve my maths because it's actually something I enjoy doing. GCSE PE and GCSE Geography I disliked. I did not like PE and Geography. And going into year 11 marks, I've done maybe about 3 weeks of revision, 2 weeks of revision. I don't know how to feel about it. Like, people do hype out, they say year 11 marks are really important, so I'm there like, I need to do well. Now, we get our results for marks, and I've done better than I expected, but I've still not done too well. I've got like a 5 in biology, 4.3 in English, like a 5 in chemistry. Like, my grades are all very average. Like, physics, I remember I got like a 6. Maths was my highest, I think I got a 7 in that. And then we get into GCSEs. I do some work, I do about 2 months of work. I actually pick it up, start working kind of hard because I'm like, I need to do well here. My GCSE grades, you can see them on my pinned TikTok video, but I'm not going to run through them all. But I got like an 8 in physics, an 8 in maths, 7 in chemistry, 6 in biology. And those are the 4 subjects that I'm picking for A-levels. So going into A-levels, I've got an option of either my 6th form or Loreto. Loreto's like a well-known college in Manchester. I just go to visit Loreto, right, to see like if I want to go there. Speaking to the teachers, they say that I can only pick 3 subjects. And I wanted to pick 4. I wanted to pick maths, chemistry, biology, physics. They tell me I can only pick 3. And at that time, when they told me, I would have dropped biology because I did not like biology. And it was the one that I got the least in. I got a 6 in that. So I was planning on, if I go Loreto, I'll drop biology. And Loreto was a good shout because like a lot of my friends were going there. It's a well-known college and a lot of people from around Manchester go there. When I went to my 6th form, they made me feel very welcome. Like, it was very like, Loreto was just like, I'm one person in like 1,000. In Trinity, it was just like, they actually care about me. Trinity would actually allow me to do 4 subjects for however long I wanted to. And eventually I decided to go with Trinity, my 6th form. It's not a well-known 6th form at this point, by the way. It's been running for about 3 years when I decided to go. And year 12 starts and I tell myself, you're going to work. I actually start working from the start of year 12 because I knew nothing. I was not, if I went into A-levels with my knowledge of GCSEs, I would have came out with Ds. So I start revising the same way that I revise normally. You can go watch my TikTok videos, my YouTube video. You can see how I revise for these subjects. Now in year 12, our school actually gave us some enrichment program, which was like every Wednesday we finished early, but for the second half of the day we had to do volunteering. And one of the teachers at my 6th form managed to find us some volunteering in a primary school in Manchester. So me and like 2 of my other friends got this enrichment, and we would go to a primary school and we'll just help read with the kids. It would be voluntary, like the kids are reading to you, you help them read the words and that. I mean, I know I got 5 in English language, but I can read books. So I wasn't thinking of this that much, like it wasn't that deep to me, it wasn't that serious. I'll just do this because the school's making me do it. So there was also like an after school club which was for like medics and dentists or like people that want to do further, like STEM. It was some STEM group. This is when I first heard about EPQ. Didn't know what it was. Teacher was like, yeah, you might have to do one if you want to do dentistry. I was like, okay. And then never heard about it again. Never got told about it again. Like, I don't know what happened. About 3 months into college, I decided to drop physics because there is no need for me to take 4 A levels, and I've decided that dentistry is the route that I want to go down. And physics was very hard in college, so I just dropped it. I had biology, chemistry, maths. I was like, if I focus on these 3, I'll be able to do well. So once I decided to do dentistry, I started looking for work experience. And oh my days, I did not think it would be that hard to find work experience. If I ever own a dental clinic, I will happily give people work experience. So what I did was I emailed every single dental clinic in Manchester and around Manchester, Bolton, Liverpool, even Leeds. I also called every dental clinic I went past. I walked into dental clinics trying to ask them if I could get work experience. And everyone would just turn me down. I don't know, I think some insurance policy or something, like they can't have, or like patient confidentiality. They can't have students in the room. However, one clinic out of all these places emailed me back saying, we'll offer you work experience at this date. And this date was my 1 week half term between Christmas and Easter. So I rock up to this work experience, see what the dentists are doing, see how the team works together. And this actually makes me think, I actually want to do dentistry now properly. Like, I actually enjoyed work experience. At this point, my grades are like building up. I am like getting like some of the higher grades in class. I think in my year 12 mocks, I did my mocks before my work experience, and I got AAB or ABB. I think I got ABB in my year 12 mocks, with the A being in maths. So everything's going well, but there's something not going well in the world, and that's COVID. So towards the end of March, just before the Easter holiday or during the Easter holiday or something, lockdown happens. I got 4 weeks off now. I can relax a bit. I don't have to be revising every day. And bam, lockdown just keeps going and going and going, and I don't return back to school until year 13. So the summer between year 12 and year 13, this is when I do my UCAT. If you don't know what UCAT is, it's an admissions exam for dentistry and medicine. Every student takes it, and this is arguably the hardest test I've ever done. The UCAT is so hard. You have about 15 seconds to answer questions, but you'll get the hang of it. So going into the exam, I was kind of confident. My grades on Medify, like, they were increasing. At one point, I was getting like 750, 700 on my scores. And about a week before the exam, my grades started plummeting a bit, like around like 650, 620 sometimes, 640. I was like, it's not that deep. Like day of the exam, I might just do as well as I did, like as I was doing, around 700. Go into the UCAT exam, and I do 2,500, which is actually 625 in each section approximately, which isn't too great. So now we start year 13, and I start UCAS. I start looking at unis, and this is when I realised that for dentistry, I am very, very limited. So in GCSEs, I got a 5 in English language. I got 6 in biology. I was not the best at GCSE. And a lot of unis for dentistry, they want either 7 A's or stars, 6s in maths and English, 7s or above in all your sciences. And I didn't have them grades. So I went through every single UCAS application, every single uni, I checked all their requirements. I emailed every single uni my grades to see if any of them would be like, yeah, like your grades are calm. And eventually, after doing all of this, I also had my UCAT grade at this point, so I gave them my UCAT requirements to see if I reached their UCAT requirements. I came up with 4 unis. Genuinely, only 4 unis would take me. And it was Leeds, Bristol, Glasgow, and Plymouth. Now, these are the only 4 that will take my GCSEs. Luckily for dentistry, you only have to apply to 4 unis. And for my 5th option, I put dental therapy and hygiene. At the start of year 13, then my teachers could tell that I was working very hard. I was getting the higher grades in the class. I was like, a lot of the times I was getting the highest grade in the class. So I got predicted A star AA with the A star in maths. During this time, I'm also writing my personal statement, and I'm trying to get everything in. As a dental or medical student, you have to send up your personal statement earlier than everyone else. It's like 15th of October. So I have to start earlier than everyone else as well, getting it all done. Make sure I got all the extracurriculum stuff in there. Make sure I've done wider reading so I can put it in my personal statement. It's such a stressful time. And this isn't all I'm doing at this point. I'm doing the BMAT as well, because if you do not know, Leeds takes the BMAT for dentistry. It's the only dental university that takes BMAT. And because my GCSE grades were so low, I didn't have an option of the unis that I applied to. So Leeds was one that I had to apply to, so therefore I had to do the BMAT. And revising for the BMAT was actually hard for me because it was overlapping with everything else. I was revising year 13 content at the same time because I have to stay on top of my work in order to do well in my A-levels. But that's not all. My 6th form decided that because we were in lockdown during the end of year 12, we have to do our AS exams, which are the exams at the end of year 12, at the start of year 13. So I'm revising year 12 content, year 13 content, writing my personal statement, and BMAT all at the same time. So now it's also got to the point where I'm thinking, should I retake my GCSE English language so I can up the grade? But it is a bit too late. But this is just in case I have to take a gap year and I apply again next year for dentistry. Eventually, I just realised that there's too much on my plate and I can't do it, so I don't retake English language because some unis also don't accept retakes in GCSE. The BMAT, I get 4.6 and 3.5A in the BMAT, which isn't bad. And now we're at around December time, year 13. Everything's out the way for now. Right now, all I have to focus on is year 13 content. I get my interview for Plymouth and I get my interview for Leeds. Glasgow rejects me straight up and nothing else. Bristol tells me that I can't study dentistry, but they'll let me study something like neuroscience or biology or like something science related. And dental therapy and hygiene, which was my fifth option for Birmingham, they rejected me as well. So right now I'm stuck with 2 interviews for dentistry, Leeds and Plymouth. So I try to practice for interviews a lot now. I use YouTube, I use Google, I do everything I can in order to do well in these interviews. Now, if any of you do have a dentistry interview, I have written a dentistry interview book. This isn't like, this is just randomly came to my mind to promote it. But it's literally written by me, personal experience from my interviews, from Google, from YouTube, from everything. It's got 40 questions in it, 1-page answers for each one. You can base your answers off of it. You can look at it for inspiration. You can test yourself on it. It's also got some general interview tips that you need to know. I highly suggest it. I think it's really useful for dentistry interviews. And it's only £5. If you want it, message me on Instagram at StudyPlate. So as I'm preparing for these interviews, I've got my Christmas holidays to prepare. I think my Plymouth interview's like late January and my Leeds interview's like early March. So do the Plymouth interview and it went quite well because it didn't go too bad. I came out of it thinking maybe I got an offer, like I'm not too sure, but I just put it in the back of my head. Leeds interview, I go in and I'm doing pretty well. And they gave me a graph to analyse and I read the x-axis wrong. And that question is the reason why I failed my interview from Leeds. But that's life, got to charge it. So time goes by. I know I failed the Leeds one. I don't get an offer from Leeds. Leeds rejects me. But Plymouth gives me an offer. I get an email and I've got this offer for Plymouth Dentistry. And oh my days, that moment I was like, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it in that moment. It was so good. Like when I read that email, I was like, everything I've worked for so hard has paid off. So now all that was left was for me to do well in my A-levels. The offer I got was AAA with an A in biology and an A in another science. Now, up to this point, I knew I was going to get A in chemistry and maths. Like, not to be like arrogant or anything, but I understood the topics. I revised a lot. I had questions when I was answering them. I knew how to answer them. So like, I knew if I go into the exam, I'm getting like minimum 80% in these tests. However, biology, the one that I needed the A in, I wasn't sure I was going to get A. As the year that I was doing my A-levels was a lockdown year, my school made sure we did exams every single week so that they could track our grades throughout the year. So it's not just based off of one exam at the end of the year. In the exams throughout the year, maths and chemistry, I've been getting A stars. Biology, I've been getting A's, B's, and A star here and there. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be guaranteed the A. And we have to do one final exam at the end of the year, like actual A-levels. This is where I get 97% in chemistry, get the A star in maths. And in biology, I did really well. I got A star in the final exam. So now all the exams are done. Gone into summer, waiting for results day. And I got A star, A star, A. I start uni at around 27th of September, 17th of September, sometime around there. And now I'm here. That's also when I started TikTok, after results day. So it's been over a year since I've been doing it. Nearly 30,000 followers. If you don't already, go follow it. And yeah, that's been my journey to dentistry. Thanks for watching.